Welcome to the Thursday edition of the Spark Creativity Teacher Podcast, a podcast for English teachers in search of creative teaching strategies. Whether you're new to the show or a longtime listener, I'm so glad you're here for today's edition of Highly Recommended. On this week's mini episode, I want to talk about learning names and my easy trick for mastery. It took me many years, but finally, after a year in which I had a Kalina, a Karina, and a Katerina, and a Katrina, I figured out a plan for memorizing names that really works. Honestly, I hate not knowing students' names. It really stresses me out big time. Maybe you're the same way. The worst for me is when I think I know someone's name and then it's actually someone else's name. So I kind of feel like I betrayed them both. So finally, after about 5 years of teaching, I stumbled upon the idea of name tents. I printed everyone's name in big block letters on a different color of cardstock for each class, and I set them out on day one before students came in. When they walked in, they saw their name card sitting on their desk. They went and sat at that desk. Boom, I could match the name to the face. I would just read the card out loud every time I wanted to talk to them, so I was good in a temporary way. Bingo? Problem solved? Kind of. It was still hard. I didn't know their names when I saw them at lunch or if I saw them in the hall, and they always had to sit in my random seating chart every day, which wasn't always ideal. It had its benefits with some rowdier classes, but I didn't really want to keep them in a seating chart constantly for the whole first week or two. So one year I took it a little step further and improved it a bit. I decided I would have them decorate those name tents. They added their favorite quotations, activities they liked, books or authors that they enjoyed, and maybe some drawings that somehow represented themselves. This helped me get to know them better, and it gave me some starting points for pre-class banter. This was another step forward in the name learning evolution, but I still wasn't quite to my final solution, the solution I want to share with you today. But then came the moment that I struck gold. I had my camera in class for taking a first day of class photo, since one of my favorite first day activities was to challenge students to choose some place on campus that represented their class somehow and create some sort of fun class pose for a photo I would then print for our room. And yes, it was an actual camera that I had in class before I even had a smartphone. And so on one particular first day, I just sort of noticed my camera sitting there while my students were decorating their name tents, and I asked them, could I take their pictures holding up their name cards? And though a few kids joked around about how it sort of felt like a mug shot, no one really minded once I explained how it would help me memorize their names quickly. Every student just held up their name card right under their chin, and I went around, snap, snap, snap. It took like 2 minutes. In just those 2 minutes, I circled the class, giving myself an easy way to study not only every student's face next to their name, but also some of their top interests. It was like the perfect cheat sheet for me going forwards. That night, I scrolled through all the photos. I practiced. I would scroll back to any name I didn't get on the first try over and over until I was positive I had it down. I did like 2 or 3 sessions like that, and then by the next day, I felt so confident and so happy. It made a huge difference to me to be able to focus on getting my classes up and running without worrying about memorizing names, without feeling awkward when I tried to just grab somebody for something and say, hey, Katrina. I just wanted to have that down so I wasn't worrying about it, and it really helped that I did. I continued to keep the name tents out for a while so that everyone could learn each other's names, which was nice for the classroom community, but I really didn't have to rely on them anymore, and that was super nice. Since that day, when I randomly thought of that idea, I repeated the same process in every class for the rest of my time in the classroom, and it continued to be just like a solid source of happiness to me at the start of the year. So this week, as many folks return to school around the country, I just want to highly recommend you give this strategy a try. The combination of name tags and photos, assuming that it's okay for you to take photos at your school, is a name learning match made in heaven.